Hello and welcome to this presentation. My name is Markus Höhn and I'm here to present our paper KidCAD, an interactive cohort analysis dashboard of patients with chronic kidney diseases. This paper is in collaboration with Sara Schwindt, Sara Hahn, Dr. Sammy Patyna, Dr. Stefan Büttner and Jörn Kohlhammer. Chronic kidney disease is a major driver of secondary diseases such as high blood pressure or heart attacks and strokes. Thus, CKD places a burden on the healthcare system. Secondary diseases also lead to physical and cognitive limitations and reduced life expectancy. CKD as progressive organ dysfunction finally results in end-stage renal disease with the need for dialysis or kidney transplantation. With an average cost up to 58,000 euros per patient per year, dialysis and renal replacement therapy are among the most cost-intensive chronic diseases worldwide. The relevant health records of CKD patients consists of static and temporal attributes that nephrologists would like to utilize for a finer-grained cohort definition and more targeted treatment. Existing clinical decision support systems in the nephrology context focus primarily on adherence to treatment guidelines or the optimization of drug administration. They suffer from general usability problems, especially the fit to nephrology workflows and the lack of taking dietary aspects into consideration. With lifelines and other medical-related approaches, solutions have been created in the past that combine the analysis of complex data with user-centered visualizations. Together with feature extraction and a definition of a similarity measure to identify cohorts, all these approaches provide a good basis for a cohort analysis tool for patients with chronic kidney diseases. A patient is described by a feature vector consisting of static properties and several vectors with time series. The properties are patient-related data like age and underlying medical conditions, as well as nephrological-related properties like CKD stage or nephrological primary diseases. The time series provide the measurement of the temporal data per patient, categorized by serum, urine, and hemodialysis samples. The similarity of two patients is finally defined as a sum of the distance between the properties of patients and the distance between their time series. The resulting n times n matrix is projected into a 2D plane by using a multidimensional scaling to visualize the cohorts in a scatter plot as an easy-to-use entry point of the application. The distance between two patients according to their properties is described as a weighted sum of the single attribute differences. The weight for an attribute can be set interactively via a databases panel. For numeric values like age or CKD class, a measurement based on an Euclidean distance is used. For sets like the nephrological primary diseases and underlying conditions, a measurement based on a Jacquard distance is used. The distance between two patients according to their time series is defined as a weighted sum of a similarity function. The weight for a time series can be set interactively via the databases panel. The similarity function takes several derived statistic measurements of the underlying time series into consideration. These measurements are the quantity, the last value, all quartiles, the range of the time series, the average and standard deviation, the correlation, and the number of peaks. The correlation is calculated as the sample correlation coefficient of a time series to estimate whether a series is stable or not. A peak will occur if the difference between adjacent items is greater than a multiple of the standard deviation. This parameter is used to identify very steep sections of the time series. To set all the weights for each feature, the databases panel lists all attributes and their weight included in the calculation of the similarity. It is grouped into 4 categories: patient properties, laboratory serum, laboratory urine, and hemodialysis. This module offers the possibility to set the weights of the attributes interactively. The options are high, mid, low, and none. It also shows the correlation of a single attribute concerning the calculated similarity of all patients, both as gradient and number. Furthermore, the attributes of a group can be sorted alphabetically or by correlation value. In order to identify the requirements for a dashboard to support nephrologists, the context of use was first analyzed. Using an online survey and structured interviews with 15 participants each, different personas were created to characterize usage scenarios of the application. The results of the survey showed that nephrologists can be supported by the provision of patient properties like CKD stage and the visualization of the laboratory parameters. It also has been found that categorizing patients according to different parameters can be helpful in their daily work when making diagnoses and identifying interdependencies. This is especially relevant for clinical use. After all basic features are explained, I want to demonstrate the prototype of our cohort analysis dashboard. We see a pre-recorded video of the usage of the software. After uploading a dataset, the user gets this screen as easy-to-use entry point. On the left side, the patient cards give detailed information on a single patient with demographic data and nephrological classification. On the right side, we see the interactive databases panel with all available attributes. This panel can be used as input dialog to edit the weights of the features to adjust the similarity definition. The changes are immediately visualized via the scatter plot. After the definition of the cohorts, the user can select a subset of the patients to see the time series and distributions of one attribute for each of the chosen subjects. The user can add or remove other patients to identify similarities within a cohort or differences between cohorts. The view is based on juxtaposition with the time axis aligned. To get more insights of one patient, the user can select the subject of interest via the according patient card. The patient view visualizes the time series of the measured blood and urine samples. The user can select various samples according to their choice to obtain an individual view of the most important time series to become familiar with the patient. The patient cards give detailed information on the patient properties categorized into demographic data, comorbidities, and hemodialysis. This was a quick demonstration of our dashboard. The usability evaluation of the dashboard with domain experts was conducted as an online survey that consisted of 2 scenarios. Both scenarios were presented by a short video showing and explaining the features of the dashboard. The videos were followed by open-ended questions about the first impression of the dashboard, its support in daily work, and an open-ended question about the comparison of the patients. Afterwards, different scales were used to assess usability, perceived usefulness, and perceived ease of use. 5 nephrologists participate in this online survey. In general, the dashboard was rated as helpful, intuitive, and clear. The features shown in the survey would support the nephrologists in their daily work. Others see support in the patient's consultations to explain the medical progression. The shown feature of the application could be also helpful to find anomalies in the scientific context. The perceived usefulness was rated as the application rather likely would enhance their job performance in their daily work, and KidCAD would be quite free of effort to utilize. The dashboard achieved a median SAS score of 77.5, which means that the usability of the dashboard was rated as good or excellent by the experts. The results of the survey show that the dashboard received satisfactory ratings from domain experts in terms of usability, usefulness, ease of use, and conformity with expectations. At the end of this presentation, we can draw the following conclusions. We presented a new application for an interactive cohort analysis dashboard of patients with chronic kidney diseases. The user interface displays various information about the patients. The user can gather information on demographics as well as disease-related data like primary diseases and hemodialysis details on each patient. The main view is used to show the cohorts of the patients according to the derived pairwise similarity. Furthermore, the main view can be used to investigate multiple time series of one patient at once or time series of multiple patients for comparison reasons. To provide an interactive adjustment of the cohorts, the user is given a databases panel with all relevant patient features. The user can vary the weights of each individual feature to gain a sophisticated output. The interface supports the user while adjusting the weights of the features with a correlation value of each feature estimating the impact. Furthermore, the similarity visualization updates immediately to display the effect of the new weight distribution. In order to define the features of the shown approach, a requirement analysis was carried out. Finally, a qualitative user study was conducted to demonstrate the added benefit of our new application. And with a brief look at the references, I would like to thank you for your interest and look forward to your questions. Thank you.